Fantasy Baseball today brought to you by Captain Morgan. We have been listening to your questions, and we're going to give you some answers. Lauren, Shehadi, Eric, Mack, Orestes Destrade, Al Melchior, our stats guru, has all your answers. What's going on, Al?
Hey, Lauren, we got lots of great questions today. Emac, I also just want to say I like your theory about command and home runs. I've just got one name for you to ponder. K-Rod. How does that fit in? I'm not sure. But
yeah, well, he is struggling with his command right now. He's not throwing it right over the plate. I mean, that's pretty much why I came up with that whole topic about closers. They hurt themselves when they fall behind in counts. They get into hitters' counts, and they struggle like throwing strikes. Now, then he could throw it right over the middle of the plate and allow a home run. So, yeah, K-Rod is a part of that, just not throwing enough strikes in the count or being wild in the strike zone.
All right, well, generally he doesn't give up a lot of homers, but, we can discuss that later because we've got some great questions on tap here. First from Stephen N., and this actually came in before we were talking about closers, but he's got a question about Fuentes and Soria, both a couple of guys hurt by the long ball. He's got Fuentes, wants to know if he should drop him, pick up Soria.
Oh, I can't believe Soria is available. Yeah, I would make that move, mostly because Soria is not challenged as the closer. Even if he struggles, he will remain the Royals closer. And Fuentes, he has Fernando Rodney right behind him. So I'm surprised Soria is available. Don't sell low on Soria just because he pitches for the Royals and they don't win a consistent number of games. He's a good pitcher that will straighten it out and he will get some saves. The Royals are going to reel off some victories. I don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but Soria is a guy that's consistent enough to trust. I think I would go drop Fuentes for Soria.
Make that move right now if you can. Make that move. Yeah.
All right, ready for the next one here?
Yeah.
Okay, we got a question from Nick. Lots of rookies that are getting a lot of love this year, but one we haven't heard that much about is the Reds' Yonder Alonso. Nick likes him, wants to know if you guys like him too.
Yeah, I do like Yonder Alonso. I think there's a lot of potential there. The problem is he's not going to play first base. Joey Votto is their first baseman now, short-term and long-term. Yonder Alonso needs to become a left fielder. And then right now they got Johnny Gomes in a little platoon situation. Heisey and Drew Stubbs will be in center. But Yonder Alonso could arrive in the second half as an outfielder. And then they also have Todd Frazier, who's not going as well. But Yonder Alonso can arrive in the second half. I just don't think he's a June 1 guy, and that's what really is happening right now. We're worried about the guys in the immediate future, the June 1 guys. Yonder Alonso is not one of them, but maybe he's an August 1st guy.
We have time for one more question now. One more.
All right, we got one more. JM says, I want Alcides Escobar off my team.
He means business, right?
Yeah, Alcides is having an awful rookie season.
Struggling with
we thought he would get on base and steal a lot of bases. It just hasn't happened. You can't steal first base, and he's not even stealing second base when he does get on base. So yes, Alcides Escobar, you can cut him from your team in a mixed league. There's just nothing going on right there. It doesn't always happen with the rookie hitters. They can't all come up and be great right away. Escobar is going to be a very good player long term.
Yes,
it's just he's struggling right now. He's not able to find himself. And you remember Dustin Pedroia, his rookie year, through June 1, he was hitting around the Mendoza line. He wound up June 1 after being a really good player. Maybe Escobar picks it up, but right now it's not worth waiting for him because he's not really a power guy and a run producer like Pedroia, more of just a slap-hitting base stealer.
Well, how's that for service? Live fantasy advice from the pros. Keep sending your questions next week. Thank you so much for those. Time to start with most added hitters, Michael Stanton. Minor leaguer on that list,
yeah, and it's the time of the year to talk about the minor leagues. Drew Storen's coming to the major leagues, and maybe that's the signal that we're going to start getting the prospects. Drew Storen is a future closer of the future, drafted in the first round last year with Steven Strasburg. He could be a setup man, maybe not a closer this year with Matt Capps going well, but Mike Stanton's coming to the major leagues, so maybe in the next 2 weeks, he's going to do it right from AA. They already told us that. So maybe we pick up Mike Stanton right now, and like a lot of people doing, pick up Strasburg, not so much with Chapman, but pick up Buster Posey. Maybe they put Buster Posey at first base. They had Mark DeRosa, who probably will go to the DL, move Aubrey Huff to left field, give Buster Posey full-time at-bats as a first baseman. He still retains that catcher eligibility. Another catcher, Carlos Santana, he could be in the major leagues by June 1. You want to pick him up. And then Brett Wallace, he's a guy that DH/first base, not so much third base anymore with Brett Wallace, but he's got pop. So those guys that I just mentioned, those are the guys you want to have on your roster. Maybe even play roster roulette. Pick them up the moment your deadline hits, and then you could drop them for next week if they don't come to the major
And if it
league.
was a game of horse, Drew Storen couldn't do anything with me because I beat him every time we played horse. I used to do a radio show with XM with his father, Mark, and known him since he was a kid. Says he went to Stanford. Wonderful makeup as a young pitcher, the way that he has. So when he gets called up, I think you're going to really enjoy, and you should want to be ready to snap up Drew Storen if you can't snap him up already.
Yeah. He's as a setup man, he's going to help out Tyler Clippard setting up, and we've already seen Tyler Clippard get all those vulture victories. Drew Storen could be that guy, and he's going to be a holds guy. He could be a strikeout per inning, a sub 2 ERA, and really nasty, a whip around 1. He could be real good.
Strasburg, Storen, Clippard. That's you might hear those three. A lot of wins for the Nationals in the coming
they
year.
are a contender right now, and that's pretty much why they're making the move to Storen.
All 3 young pitchers.
They're willing to take that risk. Maybe he's a cusper of the Super 2. They're willing to take that risk with Storen because they're in a race right now as a wild card contender.
Well, I'm going to throw out a name for you, Jose Guillen. Maybe you think he's a little bit streakier. Fantasy owners sure do. They're dropping him, but EMAC, you say, hold up.
Yeah, I go with that weekend thing. A hot weekend tends to lead to a big week. He's got 7 games this week. I think Jose Guillen, as a streaky hitter, can be a guy that everybody's been dropping, but I think you go right back to him. I think he can have a good week. And then also on that list, Kosei Fukudome, a guy that we've talked about as a hot starter, and then Orestes said drop him in the summer months. Orestes, is it time to give up on Fukudome?
No, not at all. I think he had a little rough week. I do not give up on Kosuke. In fact, I think he is kind of still that sleeper guy that you can ride out for the next about a month or so, 3 to 4 weeks. Then you start seeing the trend, that'll kind of slide downward if he didn't do something different this year to, work on his upper body and strengthen himself and be able to last the season. Then, come July-ish, I'm thinking about dropping.
As a fringe guy in mixed leagues, you rotate him when he's hot and cold. But in NL only, what you should follow is Orestes' advice.
Right.
Midsummer, it's probably going to completely fall off.
I usually follow his advice, especially when he gives me bold predictions, because he talks about no-hitters. Well, most added pitchers, there was a couple one-hitters on this list.
You better believe it.
Not no-hitters, though.
I know.
Let's clarify.
I wasn't completely clairvoyant as I normally was with the Teixeira, but I was close. The young kid from Coconut Creek here, the Florida guy, Matt Latos, a beautiful gem that he threw. And also Johnny Cueto had a one-hitter. Of course they're going to be added. Love Johnny Cueto. Yeah. I would definitely add him if you don't have him because I think he is a whip of a pitcher.
Yeah, and he's a streaky pitcher who can knock anybody out when he's going well. It looks like this is time. I know it was the Pirates last week, but he's got decent matchups this week as a 2-star pitcher. I think he's a must-start. He's only owned in 76% of leagues. I think he should be owned in over 90% of leagues. Cueto is a really good pitcher. And also on that list of the most added pitchers, Derek Holland. He came up and had that great season debut start for the Rangers. Decent matchups this week, 2-star pitcher. Go with Derek Holland. He's hot right now, and I think he could be an effective pitcher with that team that's going to get him a lot of run support.
Well, who are fantasy owners dropping from the hill? Max Scherzer, he's going down to the minors. You say he'll be back.
Yeah, Scherzer's going to be back. And like I say with young players, and this is a guy who had some success in the major leagues, he's still not yet a full 40 to 70 start, third-year starting pitcher. Scherzer is going to correct himself, and that power stuff is going to be something you want on your team in the second half. He's going to be back, and he's going to strike out a batter plus per inning, and he's going to be a dominant guy. They just need to slow him down. Young pitchers don't always have all the answers. He'll find his answers, and he'll get back.
It is time for bold predictions. EMAC makes 10 of them each show, but we were asking for your most effective one. You go first.
Well, last week I said Aroldis Chapman might make his return. But it didn't happen, and it had his worst start, and it's not going to happen in the next couple of weeks now because he needs to work on things pretty clearly. And Homer Bailey and the Reds' starting pitchers are hot. And then also I said Steven Strasburg. Now that one still could happen this weekend in Baltimore versus Baltimore at home. He's going to start Tuesday night. Maybe that happens. But my bold prediction will be that Mike Stanton, the guy that has 15 bombs and he's hitting in the mid-300s right now, he could come up. The Marlins are going to the Chicago White Sox, and they're going to have that extra hitter in the lineup with the DH. Why not call up the best hitter in the minor leagues right now, Mike Stanton? Get him some games at DH, get him a taste. The only problem with my theory, and that's why it's bold, is Chris Coughlin's come back. He's shown some power. He hit a double last week, had 2 homers over the weekend. His power is coming around, and he's getting hot. Cameron Maben's also starting to drive in runs. So the 2 guys I thought they might remove from the lineup and put Stanton in for have gotten hot, but my boldness is They're going to bring him up to be a DH for just a few days.
I like it. I like it. Oh, what do you think?
Well, I tell you, I've been muy caliente lately. I mean, the Teixeira thing, Emac, I'm sorry, and then so close with the no hitters. I had 2 or 3 guys throw 1-hitters. They were listening to me. Yeah. I was clairvoyant. Here's the one. Okay, bottom line. It's going to be way out there, and I'm going to go in the outfield because of one Ichiro Suzuki. He's starting to get hot. He's already got about 55 hits. I'm going to say that in this week's games, from Monday, from tonight till Sunday, the end of Sunday, he's going to get 14 hits this week. 14 hits from today.
Where did you come up with that number?
That's 2 hits per game.
Because
7 games.
I see the future. Yeah. Watch.
Not only are these guys professionals, they are they see things, and that's why you need to watch us each and every week at Noon Fantasy Baseball. Today we've got podcast 14 apparently for Orestes Destrade and Eric Mack. I'm Lauren Shehadi. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Arigatou gozaimasu.